Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome to another episode of Downtime with Downstar, episode 179, and today we're here with my guy, Chubby. Chubby, what's up, bro? How you doing?
What's going on, my brother? How you feeling today, man?
Great, bro. Just glad to talk to you, dude.
Yeah, it's been a while, man. We had like a good long talk about a month ago.
Yeah.
That felt real good just to chop it up, man, but just on like some personal stuff. So
it's
good to get on here on the pod and see what's going to happen here.
Hell yeah, man. Guys, this is Chubby's second time on the podcast. First time when on was, that was probably like in the 40s or the 50s.
Yeah, for sure. I think, yeah, definitely starting up when we were starting up.
Yeah.
When we were starting up, for sure.
This is my boy from Atlanta. Chubby, you always have a great outlook on everything, and that's why we always have like awesome conversations, you know. Dude, the last time that we were there for what was it, Grid Life, when Prep and I went down for Grid Life. Oh yeah. Yeah, man. We went to Grid Life for one day, and I was like, bro, this is way too hot, man. Let's just go chill with Chubby.
We hung out, man. We took David fishing.
Yeah. Dude.
Met him at the lake. Got him tour around some lakes here in the local area.
That's all he wanted to do, bro. We had such a good time, man. But like I said, dude, every time that I hang out with you, it's like family, you know, and I love that vibe because I don't really get that from much people, you know. So every time that we get to hang out, it's always a good time, man. So for everybody listening right now, let us know which area in Atlanta you're at.
I'm smack dab downtown. So I live about 2 blocks down from Martin Luther King's house. So I'm on the corner of Freedom Boulevard and Boulevard. So
got you.
You know, it's right smack dab in the middle of everything. You know, we get with the current events going on, man, we get a lot of marches right down the road here on Freedom. Being down the street from Martin Luther King's house, we get a lot of people. So it's a busy area, man. Smack dab in the city.
Yeah. So last time that we talked, it was probably around a little when COVID was already going down. Everything was on lockdown, and it was about the Charlemagne and Joe Biden interview.
Oh, Joe.
Yeah. And it seems like that was a crazy time right there, but everything just got way crazier after that.
Yeah, man, it really did, man. It went to 0 to like 1,000 even faster.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, when we were talking before, it was just cranking up. Excuse me, all the presidential things were cranking up and stuff like that. And then like now, like the presidential stuff is there, and then COVID is there. But like with everything else that's going on now, it's just more about like community that's in the news.
Yeah.
So it's a tough time, man. It's a tough time for everybody.
It definitely is, man. So when everything first started happening with George Floyd, did you notice a lot of things happening in Atlanta as far as protest-wise?
It is, but the crazy thing was the day that they started protesting, I think it was like a Saturday night or a Sunday, I was actually in California.
Oh, really?
When it happened. So, yeah, about like a month ago or however many weeks ago it was, we rented an RV for 4 days, and we drove up and down PCH, so Highway 1. So we went 3 days without service. So Friday, Saturday, and like most of Sunday. And our last stop on Sunday was supposed to be in Malibu. We rented this huge RV. We were going to post up in Malibu, you know, get a sunset in, spend the night, and then come home Monday.
Got you.
But maybe about an hour outside of Malibu, like everybody's service came back on their phone, and it was just like Santa Monica shut down, Malibu shut down, like people are rioting, they're burning the precinct in Minnesota. So we had no idea how hardcore it was yet.
Wow.
So it was pretty surprising, man. But like back home, like had no idea. All I knew was what we watched on the news, which was burning the precinct, that they were getting like through downtown Long Beach, because I was staying in Long Beach at the time.
Yeah.
So, man, but, you know, everybody did what they had to do, and I support them, really.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Well, seeing all that stuff happen, dude, it was hard for me not to go down there because for some weird reason, dude, like I'm always attracted to chaos, if that makes sense. You know,
Yeah,
you're
you're curious.
Very curious.
Curious.
You know, I like to see. I mean, I don't want to say that I like to or I enjoy it, but it's like when you're around when life is actually happening, it makes you feel a little different. You know,
Yeah.
it's one thing seeing things on the news and stuff like that, but to actually see it happen, not even this situation, but like the fires that we've had out here in SoCal. I'm sure that shit looked crazy to you guys out
Yeah, for
there.
sure.
But
Yeah,
for us,
definitely.
dude, it was insane, man. And I'm the kind of person that wants to get closer and closer and closer to
Yeah.
get like right to that point where it's danger or not, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. I always say, man, like if you're not putting your life on the line sometimes, like are you really living life?
Yeah,
And people look at me sideways for it, man. But like sometimes you gotta scare yourself, man, because if you're not scaring yourself, like you're not really taking your life all the way to the edge. So like when those protests were going on, I told everybody like, man, I wish I was back home to like, march with them, just to, be with them, because like living in Atlanta is a predominantly black community here.
yeah.
So like, I feel what they're going through. I've seen it firsthand, like what they go through. So man, I wanted to be here with them, man. But like being in Long Beach and seeing them run down there like that and seeing everything on the news, I felt like I was with them
Yeah.
the whole way, man.
Yeah, and this kind of goes along the talks of that we were having with the whole Biden and Charlemagne thing, where I was saying that sometimes you just need to throw a wrench in things and
Yeah,
disrupt business as usual, and to
yeah,
figure out like hey, we're not gonna put up with this shit anymore. Whether it's racial injustice, police brutality, or whatever it comes down to. I feel that 2020 is definitely that year that everything's getting mixed up. And once the dust settles, we're going to have to pick everything up and see where we're going to go from here, because the way that we were living pre 2020, it wasn't right, you know?
yeah. It wasn't right, and people were they just adapt to it. I
Yeah.
mean, they just got used to it. They just say, you know what, this is just the way it's gonna be, man. We just gotta live it. But man, when they started burning stuff and they started like breaking stuff, I said to myself, I said, man, this time is different. Like it's gonna change. And honestly, without all that happening, I don't think any change would have happened. I just think
Definitely.
people just would have swept under the rug as, oh, they're marching, they're cool, they're not hurting nobody, leave them alone. But
Yeah.
like the rioting helped, it's crazy to say, but like the looting helped, like it put people like the government, the police people, it put them in a very uncomfortable situation, man. They're getting results, man. I mean, all over the world, man. All 50 states did a protest. I mean, everywhere here in the South, you see people knocking down Confederate
Yeah.
statues. They're banning the flag. So like, it's making a difference, man. We got this huge mountain here in Atlanta called Stone Mountain, and everybody goes to Stone Mountain. If you ever lived in Georgia, like you've been to Stone Mountain. I think it's like a 3.5 mile like round trip hike up a mountain and down. They do like laser shows at night. Excuse me. They put like snow on the mountain in the wintertime. But what makes it famous is on the side of the mountain is a big like a carving inside the side of the mountain of a Confederate like leader, like a soldier.
Got you.
But like people just threw it on the rug, like, all right, man, there's a Confederate soldier on the side of the mountain. Ain't nothing we could do about it. We'll just keep on going to the mountain, hanging out, chilling. But they've been protesting hard. They've been, messing it up. And sure, I think they're about to change it up, man. I think they're about to carve something new in it.
Yeah. And I mean, as it should be,
Yeah,
all of
yeah,
this shit, even down to Christopher Columbus. I remember learning about Christopher Columbus when I was a kid, and I was like, yeah, this dude, he's a hero.
yeah,
Until you become an adult and you actually read the real history of things, and then you wonder like, yo, that's kind of crazy. Why did they even have a day after this person or statues or whatever? And you
yeah,
talk to some people and they're like, oh, it's just history. It's like, yeah, but we don't have to live in that history.
yeah.
We don't have to be reminded of that history anymore. And yeah, a lot of things are gonna change, man, and a lot of people are not happy right now.
Dude,
But
they're angry, and like they're really, really, really angry, man. And man, it's hard for me to say this, man, but it's not that I get it,
yeah,
but it's just like, man, when you grow up in a place like a certain way around certain things, you really can't help it. And when I say like, when people say like they don't know any better, like I hate using that phrase, but in actuality, like they don't know any better. Like
yeah,
it's just what they were raised. Last time we talked about like how people would vote and stuff like that, and it just depended on like what they watch.
yeah,
So like if you don't have cable, you just get five basic channels at the house. You get Fox News, CNN, your local news or whatever, and you're pretty much trapped into choosing a side, man. And it's crazy. But I think like as human beings, like we can watch whatever we want to watch. Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, people who watch YouTube and stuff like that. Like we're smart enough to choose and believe what's really real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we should be able to watch everything. Like if you're conservative and all you watch is conservative news, what good does that do you? You know what I mean? It's like eating spaghetti every day. If you ate spaghetti every day, you would think spaghetti is the best food ever.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean? Like if you watch one thing and that's the only thing you ever watch, you're never gonna learn anything, man. And it's with anything, Fox News, CNN, or whatever. So yeah. I think it's crazy, man. I think people need it involved, man. Honestly.
Yeah. You know what? One of the craziest things I seen, and then it made me realize that we're in a different time right now. When in Atlanta, when they stormed CNN.
Yeah.
Dude, that was intense.
Yeah, dude, can I cuss on here?
I'm just say whatever the fuck you want to say.
They fucked that shit up. They fucked it up. And not only that, but like CNN is connected to Phillips Arena where the Atlanta Hawks play, which is right next door to Mercedes-Benz where the Falcons play. Like all our major shit, like Centennial Park is like right there where CNN was. And they fucked that shit up. They burnt that police car.
Yeah.
They broke windows. But I was all for it, man. Because if you're complaining about them messing that up, you got to complain on why they're doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if all you see them is breaking windows, then you lost. Like you just weren't paying attention to anything.
Yeah.
So they had to do. They fucked that shit up, man. And people were mad. People were really, really angry about that.
Oh, really?
Dude, they were living, man, because CNN's a homegrown like news network here in Atlanta, and they're liberal, so they normally play on the side of everybody here in Atlanta. But man, people were pissed that people went into that.
Yeah, I think that the media in its entirety is guilty for all of this on both sides. The things that they spin, the things that they want to focus on, the clickbait that they use. I mean, they're causing a lot of this drama that's going on. At least that's how I feel.
I think just social media and media in general, because you get people who say, man, oh, the news is fake. You know what I mean? They're saying they're biased. They just like this dude. They're paid to say this. But then that same person would go watch YouTube. But YouTube's basically the same thing because they get paid by how many viewers they get.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's basically the same thing. Like I'm going to have the craziest hot take. So that way people just watch me just because it's either they believe it or it's because it's so dumb.
Yeah.
But like that's just media in general with anything.
Yeah. I had this conversation with my son, Christian. I was telling, because he understands YouTube and how that works and how you make money from YouTube. And then we were talking about some story with like just a crazy clickbait, like from the news media, right? Not on YouTube or anything, but just like a crazy clickbait title that was going around. I'm like, you know what? The news media, they have no responsibility to us as citizens to provide us with correct information. That's not their job. Their job is to sell advertisements so they can make money. And the way that they get advertisements is because of the views that they get. And how do they get a lot of views? How do you get a lot? How does Logan Paul get a lot of views on one video? What does he have to do? Has to be a crazy title. Has to say some crazy ass shit.
Yeah.
And then once you watch it for 5 minutes and you just realize that, oh yeah, that's really not what the title was saying. You already did your service of giving them
too late.
The view. Yeah.
Yeah. You're too late. Yeah, man, it's crazy. So I blame like just media in general. You know what I mean? I think it's up to us to like cipher what we think is right and wrong, which for some people is even hard. You know what I mean? They're not saying anything about anybody, but everybody, they have their own brain, so they think a certain way. So something that's important to me might not be important to you or another person.
Yeah.
So we don't, we just don't focus on it. But man, media messes everything up, man. Like the Facebook ads, like Facebook's got to do a better job. YouTube's got to do a better job. We got to do a better job of just like picking through shit.
Yeah, definitely, man. This really feels like the time to destroy and rebuild. And I hope the destruction doesn't get any further than it has now. And I hope the rebuild starts soon. But right now, we're just in limbo, man. Who knows what's going to happen next month?
Dude, I'm thinking in 2 or 3 weeks, like COVID is going to spike back up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, people are still going to be marching, which, you know, I'm proud of them if they're still marching in a month or 2 months or, you know, 3 weeks or till the end of the year. I'm super proud of them. But I want the motherfuckers to be careful too, man, because I still believe in it, man.
Do you?
You know, to a certain extent, man. I just know, like, I don't believe I'm going to get it, which is kind of naive, but I believe that it's out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, definitely. So, like, I believe that it's out there for sure.
Yeah. I just don't think it's as easy to get it as they say. But I do a pretty good job of, like, keeping my distance from people. So, like, I haven't been, like, you know, like, marching, or I'm not in the car with 4 people, or I'm not at the grocery store, like, with 20 or 30 other people. I keep my distance, man. I mean, I'm in the house. I go to work. When I'm at work, I'm chilling. I'm not around nobody. But I think that second or third wave is coming for sure, man. I think we're, like I said, I told you last time we were going to deal with this for 3 years.
3 years?
So, 3 years. So I'm like, I think it's good. Like, the economy's going to bounce back, but just because people are like, fuck it.
Yeah.
But, like, a real threat of COVID, dude, I think 3 years, man, we're gonna be still dealing with it, man.
Wow. How do you feel about what was going on with the numbers where they were saying that people died of COVID, that you know, had other underlying illnesses, and that the hospitals, they're getting money for people that have died from COVID? Like, all of that stuff is confirmed. You know, the numbers are definitely skewed, which is going to skew everything. You know, say the number of people that died. I mean, I wonder what the real number is from the people that actually died from COVID itself.
Yeah, I'd say like people dying from COVID itself is probably a little bit lower, but I do feel like, so if you had like a heart condition, you know what I mean, and they gave you 15 years to live with this heart condition, but now that you got COVID, you know, it could be down to 7 years or 5 years or whatever the case may be. But then in 3 weeks, you die of that heart failure.
Yeah.
I mean, who's not to say that, like, COVID, like, he didn't die of COVID, but COVID probably sped up.
Yeah.
You know, that heart condition or that lung condition, whatever it is. So, like, it's skewed in a way, but I mean, in a way, he kind of did die from COVID, but just not directly from COVID. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, he had 15 years and COVID cut it down to 7. So it could have had something to do with it, you know, even though he died from a heart condition or whatever. But shoot, I mean, that's like you said, man, then again, it's just news outlets, man. You know what I mean? If they say, CNN puts out, oh man, you know, 1 million or 2 million people died from COVID, like, you're going to click on and you're going to want to, like, listen to who they got on or, and, like, why they said that number is. So, man, it's part of the game, man.
Yeah.
You know, it's part of that game of life. It's, like I said, it's still up to us to think, like, all right, man, they say 500,000 deaths. I'll give them 350 or 330, in which it's still a lot of people. You know what I mean? Even if we don't get a direct number, think, like, the number is still big enough to, you should still fear it.
Yeah.
You know, like, I think I read somewhere today where they said Florida got 4,000 new cases with like 100 and some change, like, deaths. So,
but then with that kind of stuff too, it's like when they have, say the beach just opened up last weekend. They say on Monday we have 4,000 new cases. It's like, how though? People aren't going to the beach and then right after that going to get tested. You know, and then you keep seeing shit like that. And if you're a critical thinker, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So then it's just like, who the hell do I believe? Like, at this point right now, I don't believe anybody. I don't believe anybody at all. The most that I can do is collect as much information as possible and get down to the point as close as I can. But still, even that's hard.
Yeah, man. I think that's the smartest move, man. Honestly, like I said, as long as you kind of live in fear, which is, there's nothing wrong with, you know what I mean? Just live in a little bit of fear, you know, take care of yourself, take care of your health, like your family, just take the precautionaries and you be good, Brody.
Yeah.
I mean, look, 3 weeks ago, like I said, I still fear COVID. 3 weeks ago, I flew to LA. So
what was that like?
You know what I mean? Dude, it was, going there was nerve wracking because I had been quarantined, like hardcore quarantine. I haven't even left the house in like 2.5 months. 3 months, you know.
Whoa.
And then one day it was like, I'm gonna go to California. I'm tired of this. I'm going to LA. So I hop on a plane. I'm like in like a shell, you know what I mean? I kind of got my hands crossed like this. I got my mask on, and it still kind of felt weird, man, because they were skipping every other seat.
Mm-hmm.
But like when the flight attendant would walk down the aisle, she still like rub against me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or like I don't know how deeply they cleaned the plane or whatnot and stuff like that. So I was worried. Then I got to LA. Those 3 days happened. The rioting started happening. When I flew back, like the last thing on my mind was COVID. Like, I could think about was the marching. So that it's crazy to say like it took my mind off of it, but like I'm back on that shit now.
Back on COVID?
I'm back on the COVID shit, man. Back on the COVID shit. But man, to me, it's like I said, it's just interesting, man, that like we can't fight this.
Yeah.
Or like we can't beat it, or like there's no like direct like reason why this shit's here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just crazy. And everybody can say, like, it's a man-made thing or, like, this and that. But, like, shit, man, it's just hard to believe. Like I said, man, it's just hard to believe anything. Yeah. So, man, I can't think of anything, like, a reason for it, man.
Yeah.
Honestly.
No, definitely. It feels like it was put there for a reason. That's what it feels like for me. You know, I can't recall the past election years. And especially in 2016, I don't know how even weird things were that year because everybody assumed that Hillary was going to win in 2016. Yeah. Even she assumed that she was going to win. And it was that night. I remember watching it. It was that night where everything just changed and turned around. And then Trump ended up winning. So it kind of wasn't like they felt like they had it in the bag, you know. So I don't remember anything weird, but they always say that come an election year, there's a lot of strange things that happen.
Yeah, I actually remember 2016 because like I remember like it going like late.
Yeah,
like, the ballots went late. It was like 11:30, and it was like Donald Trump's gonna win the presidency, and I just thought to myself like, man, what the hell? Like, what's happening here? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, man, it was a shock, man. And personally, I think he's gonna win it again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not ashamed to say I'm not gonna vote for him, but I just don't like their comments. They just win. You know, you get 8 years of each party. I feel like.
Yeah.
So we got 8 years of Clinton, 8 years of Bush, 8 years of Obama. Like it's gonna be 8 years of Trump. Like even if we like it or not.
Yeah.
And like with all that's going on, it might make it a little bit closer than what it should be.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think enough people believe in Joe. It's just gonna be tough, man. But my personal opinion, I would rather have Joe than Trump.
Yeah.
I think we talked about this before, and just like his policies might be kind of all right and things like that. The economy's been well while he's here, but man, he just treats people like shit.
Yeah.
And I just can't get down with that, man, because I travel like a lot internationally, domestically, but internationally. You want to go somewhere and like people ask you where you're from. I'm like, hey, I'm an American. And they look at you sideways and think like, oh, Donald Trump. So it's a poor representation of us, and that's why I won't vote for him.
Yeah, I feel you, man. I just don't. I don't know why they picked Joe Biden, dude. There was a lot of good candidates that just went on the wayside, and then ended up like they just threw Joe Biden in there. It feels like just a wild card, man. And I don't think it's going to work. I do not think that it's going to work. And it's going to be 4 more years of Trump. And, that's going to be 4 more years of craziness. Because no matter what he does, having people at odds with each other, that's a problem, man.
Yeah.
And we need to get back to the point where we were after 9/11, where everybody, you're not black, you're not white, you're not Asian. You're an American.
Yeah.
No one's thinking like that right now, dude.
Yeah.
And that shit is a shame, man.
Dude, and he's. I mean, I know like last time when you were saying like we just pick on Trump.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, we do pick on him. We don't give him a fair chance. But sometimes man, he just brings that shit on his own.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like what the stuff he says, the stuff he tweets. Like I don't think any president should tweet as much as he do. You know what I mean? Like even like basketball players, they have like PR people like, you're going to control my account, you know what I mean? Get your burner account, wherever the case may be.
Yeah.
But like, who lets the president run his own like shit like that? And then people read it and people are like, hell yeah, I like that shit. That's what makes it even more crazy. He tweets some shit. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Like a regular person wouldn't tweet that. Like, why would the president tweet some shit like that? So I don't know, man. It's gonna be crazy. I think things might get just a tad bit better just because like people are starting to not believe him, like in his own corner.
Yeah.
I mean, like the people he has around him, like they're starting to think like, oh, he's crazy. So my hope is if he gets 4 more years, that they kind of just use him as a puppet. You just stand there and you let us take care of everything else.
Yeah.
Take Twitter shit away from him and just let it roll, man.
Yeah. I don't know, dude. I think that he's really feeding into his home base because he knows that those people that the majority of the people that got him into the office, that's who he needs to speak to and keep on his side. And that's how I feel. But I really, really think that Trump dropped the ball after the whole Biden thing that happened with Charlemagne. And with all of the killing of George Floyd, if he would have handled that situation differently, this could have been what 9/11 was to Bush. Yeah. Because if people remember, back in 2001, nobody fucked with George Bush before 9/11. Yeah. He was the biggest joke that there was. But after that happened, he brought everybody together, and then his approval rating just skyrocketed from there.
Dude, he rallied the troops. You know what I mean? Like people just rallied around him. They wanted to make sure like everything was right because when 9/11 happened, it affected everybody. It was no like white, black, yellow, or purple, or whatever. It was just we were Americans. You know what I mean? And now with like this situation, like we are split. You gotta choose a side. Like I hate to say it, but like you are choosing a side.
Yeah.
If you're not choosing a side, you're pretty much against. You know what I mean? I feel like it's unfair to say, but if you're neutral, then you're on the wrong side.
Yeah.
That's my personal opinion. You know what I mean? And dude, that stunt he pulled when those protesters were just chilling or whatever, and then he got them all to freaking like get blasted with the pepper spray and like the bullets so he could take a picture with the Bible. Dude, that was the last straw, man. Like people look, dude, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like his own general was like, dude, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
So I think he dropped the ball on that too, man, for sure.
Yeah.
And he dropped the ball by he didn't have to necessarily pick a side, but he's got to see the video for what it was, man. If anybody's seen that George Floyd video, there was no other side. Everybody should be on one side on that George Floyd.
Yeah.
Dude, you know what I mean? Like he wasn't resisting. He was chilling. You know what I mean? Like the dude thought he had a counterfeit 20. He died because the dude thought he had a counterfeit 20. Just think about that, man. And it wasn't even fake to turn out, it wasn't even fake at the end of the day.
No way.
No, it wasn't even fake.
Fuck, man.
You know what I think what even the crazier point is the cop who had his knee on his neck, they worked together. They knew each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like how could you do that?
Well, this
somebody you know.
This brings me to my next point, dude. When have you ever seen a police video like that where the suspect isn't resisting arrest? There's not shouting going on. There's nothing crazy. This was like, I don't know, man. It felt like they were doing this as a statement.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For him to be on his neck for that long, for it to be that blatant out in the open, for them to know that people are recording right there, to know that he's not resisting, he's not causing a problem. Like either they were just that blatant where they just knew that they were going to get away with it, or it was done for another reason.
My personal opinion is I just thought they don't give a fuck, man. I mean, police just don't give a fuck. Honestly, you know what I mean? Like everybody wears a body camera and they still don't give a fuck. Like all this has happened, and like what happened in Atlanta just last week is still happening after 3 weeks of what happened to George Floyd.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like it's like the cops watch the shit and they don't learn anything from it, and they just say, you know what, shit, hold my beer, bro. I could do worse.
Yeah, let's get into that, dude. It's been seeming like, I was listening to a podcast and they're saying like, if you ever get caught cheating by your lady, the first thing you're gonna do is be on your best behavior for as long as possible. You're not fucking bitches in front of her.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's,
dude,
all of these videos that are popping up from the protests, from the riots, just, other police interaction that's going on, it's not like it even slowed down. It's like they got a notice to say, "Yo, ramp it up." That's what it feels like, dude.
Yeah.
And
so,
go ahead.
I was gonna say like what happened in Atlanta.
Yeah.
The dude Rashard Brooks pulled up to a Wendy's. I think like he orders his food. He pulls up, he pays, pulls up to the second window, falls asleep. Everybody's done it. You know what I mean? I know people who've done it. I mean, it wasn't even late. It was like 10:30, 11 o'clock, I think what it was. I think he's from like Alabama. He wasn't even from like Atlanta. I think he was just here like visiting. And I've been to this Wendy's before multiple times.
Yeah.
Boone used to live 2 blocks from that Wendy's.
Yeah.
So like the area, it's not like a bad area. It's a live area. You know what I mean? Like people are just always out. It's just a live area.
Yeah.
So like he gets the police called him. The dude pulls up, knocks on his window. He doesn't wake up. He knocks again. The dude wakes up. Like, all right, cool. They have a whole conversation. Like friendly conversation, like somebody like a conversation you would talk to like your friend. How are you doing? Why are you here? Shit like that. So he tells them, dude, you need to move your car. Just move your car over. The cop says, move your car. Take your keys out, go to sleep, whatever. So he walks away. As soon as he walks away, I think the dude hops back in his car and falls back asleep. Shit happens. You know what I mean? Shit happens. Well, my main thing is it's non-violent.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just sleeping.
Yeah.
So the dude calls. The dude thinks he's been drinking or has a DUI. Calls like another person because I think this cop he only been on a job for like maybe like a month.
Okay.
5 weeks or whatever. So he calls for like another guy. Guy pulls up. Asks him a few questions. They go through the sobriety test. Then he blows. I'm not sure what he blows, but I think it's a little bit over the limit. So he's like, all right, you're arrested. You know what I mean? As soon as he puts the cuffs on him, I don't know what went through his head. A little upset that he's probably getting arrested. They get into a little shuffle.
Mm-hmm.
My person, he whooped one of them officers' ass.
Oh, did he?
I mean? I don't know if he whooped his ass, but he got some licks in. If you watch the video, he gets some licks in. But still, they get in. The dude's drunk. You know what I mean? He doesn't really know where he's at. He's just drunk. You know what I mean? But still non-violent. You get your ass whooped. You get a couple of licks in. It is what it is. Everybody's gonna got their ass whooped. You know what I mean? He picks up a taser. He starts running. One of the officers gets up and is chasing him. I think he misses him with a taser. Rashard Brooks turns around, points the taser. I think he misses with it, then turns back running. The cop shoots 3 times. 2 bullets hit Rashard Brooks in the back. One of the bullets ricochets and hit another car in the drive-thru that had 4 people in it.
Oh, shit.
You know what I mean? So the cop opened fire in an open parking lot. You know what I mean? Hit the dude. But if anybody's ever been to a gun class, you don't shoot a dude in the back. You know what I mean? Even if you're getting your house robbed, you know what I mean? You go get your gun and the dude starts running away. If you shoot that dude in the back, even though he robbed your house, you're in trouble, bro.
Yeah,
you
same.
just don't do it. You just don't do it. It's non-lethal. It's not a weapon. Like, dude, should have the dude got into a fight with him? Probably not. But should have the officer gotten his ass whooped? Probably not either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He didn't deserve to die, man. And as soon as that happened, that next day, they protested hard. They shut down the whole freeway. I think like 100 protesters got on to 75, and they shut it down going both ways, south and north.
Oh, shit.
And backed up traffic for like 4 hours. But you know what, man? Good for him. You know what I mean? Because the dude didn't deserve to die.
Yeah.
I think like his daughter's birthday was the next day.
Wow.
So, man, it's just rough out here in Atlanta, man.
Yeah.
Super rough.
And I mean, even at the end of the day, no matter what he did, no matter anything, they don't have the authority to be able to be the judge, jury, and executioners. And we see this all the time. Because if you did, why wouldn't they have killed like Dylan Ruth or something like that?
Yo, they took him to Burger King.
No shit.
They took Dylan Ruth as they was bringing him in to Burger King. He said, "I'm hungry." They took him to a Burger King.
Wow.
A dude who shot like 10 people, or however many it was. This dude just fell asleep in the parking lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And not only that, but like, you have your gun. your partner has his gun. You patted the dude down already. You have his driver license. You have his car. You know he doesn't have a deadly weapon like another gun, and you still shoot him. Why?
Yeah.
Because you got your ass whooped.
Probably.
You know what I mean? Like, I think that's what's wrong with like people like in authority like that. They just don't like to lose. You know what I mean? And I tell my nephew, he plays baseball all the time, and he hates like losing. But I tell him, I say, hey man, son, the best thing you could do in life is lose.
Yeah.
Because when you bounce back, you know what I mean, you're better. And not only that, like, you know what it feels like to lose, so you don't want to lose anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, like, to anybody out there, it's cool to lose. Like, take the L, wake up the next day, and try harder. And don't catch the L next time, man. But if you catch an L, sometimes that's just what it's just what it is, what it is. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
definitely. I think the ego and pride gets in the way a lot when it comes to a loss, you know, and when you're able to distinguish the actual lesson from the ego and pride of it, you really gain a lot from that loss. Where, I mean, it sounds so cliche, but it's not a loss, it's a lesson.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's just people don't take the time to focus on these lessons that they're going to learn, so they keep having these losses and losses and losses, and they just never progress from it. But yeah, dude, I wouldn't be where I am today if I didn't have losses, because it's always, a loss is like a trial and error. You know, you try something, it doesn't work out, you try it again a different way, and then you keep going until you figure it out. But yeah, man, that's such an unfortunate situation. So after that ended up happening, you just saw everything just get turned up even more?
Dude, he got turned up the next day. They burnt that Wendy's down.
Mm-hmm.
So like they shut down the freeway. They shut down the exit, so you couldn't get off of University and Pryor,
mm-hmm.
which is where it happened at. They pulled up to the Wendy's. They pretty much chased like the Wendy's employees like out of the building, and they set everything on fire from like the bushes, and then somebody went in there, busted the windows. I think like on one of the videos, the dude's like, yeah, I turned all the gas on.
Oh shit!
You know what I mean? And he goes in there and busted, but it was a community event.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there are white people in there burning it. There are black people in there burning it. There are Asian people in there burning it. Like, they did it right. And, like, the city heard them. You know what I mean? Because they end up charging the officer, I think, with, like, 11 counts. You know what I mean? But what's even more crazy is, it's crazy how we find out stuff about it, about, like, the police officers after, like, what they've done.
Mm-hmm.
So he had, like, 11 or 12 misconducts before.
Wow.
Prior to this one. And one of his misconducts was covering up a shooting that another officer had and lying about that. So, like, to me, it's like when people have stuff like that, like, why do we throw them back in our communities? You know what I mean? Like, if this officer has, like, a history of, like, not liking black people or being, like, aggressive, like, why do we put him in the areas where, like, the crime rate is high so he can use that aggression even more? So it's a tough situation, man. But look, I understand police officers. They have a tough job.
Yeah.
Like super tough. Like, I could never do it. Like, props to them for doing it. But at the same time, nobody's making you do it. You know, like, I'm a big believer in, you know what you signed up for. It's not like when you signed up to be a police officer, they told you, like, all right, well, you're going to be walking the sidewalks. You're probably never going to get into a fight or whatever the case may be. Like, they know it. You know, they signed the paper. And to me, my opinion is they look forward to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they want that area of high crime so they can do what, you know, they've learned or in training or whatever the case may be. And it's super sad. But like I said, tough job for them.
Yeah, definitely. Tough job. I think that's one thing that people get mixed up with, is that all this talk isn't about, like, at least for me, isn't about fuck the police and be against the police. Because that's the same thing as you know, people looking at black people and thinking they're all the same way. You know, It's a job, and it's just like any other job. And sometimes somebody's gonna be good at the job, and sometimes somebody is gonna fucking be really shitty at the job. And I was talking to my buddy, one of my really good friends is a police officer, and I always have these talks with him every time that I see something like unjust happen. And he said, you know who hates crooked cops even more than the regular public does? He said it's good cops.
Yeah.
You know, but then again, what are the good cops doing to out the bad cops?
Yeah. In my opinion, man, good cops are very few. You know what I mean? Like if you got a precinct of 120, I say like five.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Because my personal opinion is people who sign up to be police officers are. This is just my personal opinion. I don't want
Yeah.
to offend anybody by saying it's just my personal opinion. But if you sign up to be a police officer, you were just a bully in high school, and you were too scared to get into the Marines, and you still wanted some of the, you know what I mean? You
Yeah.
still wanted some authority, so you signed up to be a police officer.
Yeah.
Because people fear police officers more than they fear soldiers, which is crazy. You know what I mean? Like you don't ever see like a Marine or a vet who's come back and say, you know what, man, I'm kind of scared of him. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You might worry for him, but you're not scared of that Marine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you know what he's been through. You know what he's had to deal with. But let a police officer come around, and you kind of like, man, I don't want to fuck with him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he dirty. Like he will abuse his power more than like a Marine or anybody else would, which is crazy to think about. Like
Yeah.
police officers, they just dirty, man. But like I said, man, it's tough. So I see both sides.
Yeah.
But I lean more towards that. They're just something else, man.
Yeah. Okay, everybody, we're going to take a quick break for our sponsors, and we'll be back in 1 minute. Hilto Automotive has been a supporter of Downtime with Downstar for quite some time now, and we know that they're in your corner, that they got your back, whether you're under a car or you just need some help. No matter your race, creed, engine platform preference, that motto stands true. Accord, Civic, S2000, any Honda, any customer, anywhere in the world, with equal respectful treatment for all. We at Downtime with Downstar share these values, and as a special gift to Downtime listeners, they are giving you guys a special deal. Using the Let's Deal function at the top of HeelToeAuto.com, you'll find an option to request a special quote. Submit a special quote using the key phrase, "I'm down with Downstar." Once again, the key phrase is, "I'm down with Downstar," for a special deal on whatever you're shopping for. And of course, if you need any help, Marcus from Heel Toe is available by call, text, email to help out. Heel Toe wishes you guys a happy, healthy, and safe 2020. So I know a lot of you guys are questioning, what is this whole cult thing that's going on? Well, we at Downstar are starting our own cult. What is it? Are you going to have to drink punch? Are we going to sleep with your wives? No, none of that yet. But what it is a direct number to us, meaning me, Frank Downstar. I'm the one that's answering the text. So please, right now, text us, 818-403-3473. You're just going to have to follow a couple simple steps, get added to your contacts, and text us. Let us know what you're thinking of the episode so far. If you guys have any questions, anything like that, anything, even want to talk about life, man, just shoot us a text. We're here to help you guys out, and we're here to have some fun, man. And that's what the cult's about. So come join the cult. 818-403-3473. No charges. We're not going to be selling your info. No bullshit like that, guys. Just straight up fun. So make sure you guys shoot us a text right now. 818-403-3473. And enjoy the rest of the episode. Have a good day. No, I feel you, dude. And this is a great conversation because we're from totally different parts of the country, and it's totally different worlds. So the things that you've grown up with, the things that you've seen may not be the same things that I've seen. And people listening right now, maybe all lives matter kind of people, maybe they haven't had that many interactions with, black people or problematic police, and they think that, just the spaghetti thing. They think that, hey, I've never had that problem. Every time I get pulled over, all I say is yes or no, sir, and there's no problem. But you can't compare your experiences to somebody else's experiences, because even my experiences versus 20 miles from here is totally different. So the way that you feel and the way that you think, you're totally right to have your opinion, because you're the only one that's ever experienced your life. Every time that you meet a football player, you've had a bad interaction, ever since high school. So if you feel some way about football players, that's because of the experiences that you've had. But that doesn't mean, all football players are bad. But it's like, this is my experience. And it's just, I don't think a lot of people are looking at things with nuance. They're just looking at it from their own point of view and thinking, well, my life is this way and this is how it is. And I never have any problems with police officers, with racism, or insert problem here, whatever the fucking problem is, you know?
Yeah, and man, I constitute to like man, police when I was growing up, my parents didn't like have a lot of run-ins with them,
Mm-hmm.
but my parents came from like a country that was at war, so I mean like, so they thought police as like soldiers. So
Mm-hmm.
like growing up for us, like my parents were always like, man, don't trust them. You know what I mean? They're always, gonna stab you in the back and stuff like that. So growing up, like that's all I thought about.
Yeah.
And like in predominantly like black communities, that's what they think about too. Like if you're a cop, you're a snitch.
Mm-hmm.
Basically what it is. And
Yeah.
we all know how we feel about snitches.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think everybody feels the same way about a snitch.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that all like cops are that. I understand they have a job to do, but like growing up here, like that's what we thought of, like police officers. Like you were just snitches. You know what I mean? Like you're here to take advantage of the system.
Mm-hmm.
And just do whatever you want to do. Like you want to reign over a neighborhood. Like that's what you want to do. You want to be a dirty cop, get paid, do all this, but not break anybody off because you can snitch on somebody. So growing up here, like that's what it was. With a cop, we'd be playing basketball out front, and if a cop rode by, what I mean, I would just kind of duck under the car a little bit or duck over the car, so just so they don't look at me sideways. You know what I mean? And I also feel like if you're white and you say like, oh man, I've been pulled over 100 times and the cops never say anything, they just write me a ticket, go beyond, or 75% of the time they just let me go. Like open your eyes. That's the privilege that everybody's talking about. You know what I mean? And I feel like if white people say, well, I've never experienced any kind of privilege. I've worked hard for everything. Cool. We're not saying you didn't work hard for everything.
Yeah.
I'm just saying you might have got a shortcut up to the working hard part, or you got a break somewhere that a lot of people don't get.
Yeah.
And if you're not opening your mind to that, then you're losing touch with what's going on.
Yeah. I think everybody has a certain amount of privilege,
For sure.
I feel privileged to be born where I was born in the US. I feel privileged to be born in the US. Now you go even deeper and further, born in California, born in SoCal. Like literally I feel like that we won like the lottery, the genetic lottery, because I could have just been born anywhere else.
Yeah.
I could have been born in Duluth, Minnesota or whatever,
Yeah, for sure.
So
for sure.
It's just to understand that you don't have some sort of privilege. That's not looking at things correctly, because, I feel like everybody who lives in the U.S. is way more privileged than everybody living, in some third world country. That they're born already into not even poverty. It's like below that. Not having solid meals, having to walk for miles and miles just to get some like tainted water,
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, man, like you gotta be humble and you gotta love like where you're at. Like everybody has to. And like even in the hood, you know what I mean? Like they love being in the hood.
Yeah.
It's crazy to say, like they hate being in the hood, but they love being in the hood.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They get a certain lifestyle, they're doing certain things and they like it. But guess what? They're doing the most with less.
Yeah.
That's how I put it for people. You know what I mean? Like they're happy there, you know what I mean? But they made it work with less. Just imagine if you gave them more. What they could do with more. With anybody, what could you do with more? What could I do with more? But like more has to be given to them. And if you're not giving people more, then you're cheating people out of life. So if you don't give, like even if you're cooking breakfast, man, you're not giving, like, man, this breakfast is gonna be the best breakfast ever. You're cheating yourself and you're cheating that person you're cooking for, man. Because if you leave it short, you know what I mean? Like if you give them 75%, they might think it's 65%.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you got to give it. It's cliche, but 200%. So that way, even 150% of it is still good.
Yeah.
But you just gotta give people chances, man, and the opportunity.
Yeah, I think that we're in a real time of awakening right now, and hopefully people are understanding that the way that they've been living life, on both sides, all sides, not just white people, not black people. I mean, everybody watching everything unfold right now. The only reason that everything is happening right now is because of hate. That's it. Plain and simple. There's so much hate in people's hearts, whether you're a police officer or whether you're on the other side or whatever side you're on right now. Like, there is that hate that is just boiling in you, and it's up to you whether you're gonna let that win or you're gonna control it, because people are fucked up right now. There's hate going on and there's a lot of hurt going on.
Yeah, I think by the end of the year we're gonna have COVID. We're gonna have a new president or old president, and there's gonna be like a race war, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's slowly developing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I see it every day, like on Facebook or, you know, on social media, and I try to like stay out of it. And I'm just like looking like side eyeing over here. You know what I mean? I'm like, damn, man, I ain't gonna be pretty. You know what I mean? And like I said, man, everybody's gonna be forced to choose a side, and it's gonna suck because people gotta like step over their words a little bit more carefully now. You know what I mean? Like people gotta just word things different when you're having a full conversation. You just can't like blurt something out and somebody be like, man, you know that's how you really feel.
Yeah.
So I do feel like some people take things out of context. You know, like sometimes, you know, shit's just, they don't have the full story on something, or, you know, people don't know how to use a certain word or how to phrase things, and man, shit happens.
Yeah.
And I tell everybody, man, just forgiveness. You know what I mean? Like everybody deserves a second chance. You know what I mean? Like better to teach somebody and let them learn rather than giving them the cold shoulder and letting them be dumb for the rest of their life. You know what I mean? So that's another big pet peeve of mine. It's like people who are like trying to change. You know what I mean? Like you get these celebrities who are like, all right, cool. You know, we stand with you. Black Lives Matter. I'm going to donate. Boom, 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 all of this. And then, you know, Twitter trolls come around and say, well, shit, hey, man, well, you did this, you know, 10 years ago or 16 years ago, whatever the case may be. Like, all right, cool, man. You know, what he did 15, 16 years ago wasn't cool. You know, it was awful, but he's changing. Like, people can change. People can progress. Like, the way he felt 16 years ago isn't the way he feels now. And he's trying to be part of the solution now instead of being part of the problem. So you let him be part of that solution rather than being like, nah, we don't want your help. So, like, what do you want people to do? Do you want me to change and learn? Or do you just want to call me out and like, send me to hell? So like, I tell everybody, whoever's listening, forgiveness, man, forgiveness. You know, people mess up. Nobody's perfect, and that's another thing. People expect everything to be perfect. Like nothing's ever perfect. You can go to your favorite restaurant, get the same spaghetti every time, and I guarantee you that spaghetti will taste different every single time you go. But every time you will say, man, that shit's good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's different every time. It's not perfect. People are not perfect. No situation's ever perfect. You know, you just got to take the good with the bad. And I think like this situation here where everything's going on, like all the bad stuff that's happening, we got to look like forward. It's like what we can move forward into. Like what's going to happen after all this. Like COVID, 4 months over with. Like outside's gonna be fun as hell. You know what I mean? Like, like outside's gonna be fucking party, bro. Like it's gonna be lit. You know what I mean? Like every event's gonna be treated like the last event ever because you never know when the shit's gonna come back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So man, like everybody just look forward to something. You know what I mean? That should be the best part of everybody's day is looking forward to something. You know, if it's a text message, a bill, a hug, a TV show, whatever it is, just look forward to that and like keep on pushing through, man.
Yeah, this year's definitely made me appreciate the things that I have. And, you know, even leaving work in the morning where I'm just leaving my family, there's a part of me that's like, damn, I really don't want to leave right now because I don't know what the rest of the day is going to bring. You know, before everything started happening in 2020, I kind of just lived life like assuming. You know, okay, everything's going to be the same. We're going to be here. We're going to be there. If you would have asked me in January, what are you going to be doing in 4 months? I would have given you a list of shows that I was going to be at because this is where I'm going to be. But how things are right now, I don't know where we're going to be. I don't know what's going to happen in a month from now. So it's making me just think a little more about what's happening right now, living in the moment and enjoying those times as they're happening, which is a good thing, you know. And that's why I say, you know, mixing everything up, it's kind of, there's good and there's bad in everything, and the good out of it is like it's reminding people that nothing is forever. You know, you and I, we're not forever. Like this time that we're gonna have isn't forever, so we have to enjoy those times. And I know I'm super guilty of that in the past, just living through the moment and just getting through the time because that's just what we have to do, but not really sitting around and soaking up the moment, you know?
Yeah, I'm all about the moments, man.
Yeah.
The moments are the best, bro. You know what I mean? Like when you get a moment, it's like you're on drugs, but you're not on drugs. You know, like that moment is your drug for you.
Yeah.
And like this moment that we're living in, like the whole world, like it should be special to everybody. Like you're always gonna remember this year. Like 2020, fucking, it's crazy because 2020 sucks. It's shitty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But in 15 or 20 years, you're gonna tell that story. You're gonna laugh. You're gonna be like, man, bro, you remember we were locked in the freaking house for 4 days and we popped, you know, a whole fucking zip of fucking shrooms or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? Which is crazy. You know what I mean? But people are doing it though. You know what I mean? Like people who normally wouldn't do drugs or do something out of the ordinary, like they're doing it. You know what I mean? Just to experience it because like they think like life's gonna be over with. So, you know, you don't want to die a virgin or whatever the case may be in any aspect.
Yeah.
So, you know, they're cleaning the slate, bro.
Yeah.
Cleaning the slate.
I'm trying to get my ass ate, bro, to be honest.
Hey man, look, dude, we can go to the Dominican Republic and I'll throw you a 20 and that shit can happen.
Ash ain't doing it, so she'll probably be like, all right, go ahead, Chubby, take him.
Hey man, look. Nobody wants to die a virgin, bro. Nobody wants to die a virgin. Ash, hey, look. I'm gonna take care of that for you, all right?
I gotta get the permission slip. But you bring up a good point, dude. I have really been thinking about shrooms lately.
Dude, I recommend it, man. I went to a music festival and we saw Outkast and we popped some shrooms, man. So it was a good time, man. That was years ago though.
Yeah.
Back in my day.
Yeah.
But shrooms are nice, man. I highly recommend them.
But I got to be around somebody that I'm comfortable with. So next time you're in Cali.
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. Dude, I recommend being like people like going out, but I like doing drugs back in my heyday, of course. Just at the house, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like pop a roll, sit at the house and just chill, you know, somewhere you're comfortable so you can maximize the drug.
Definitely. Even smoking, dude, like when we would go out, Ash would tell me like, yo, I'll drive or we'll take an Uber and you could smoke and we'll go out. But I'm kind of like, I don't like to be out of my element, especially, you know, going downtown to the clubs or something. Because first of all, I always like to be prepared if something goes off, dude. And then second of all, I don't like to feel like that out of my element around a bunch of other people. It's not the right time, you know? For me anyways.
Yeah, for sure. I like smoking at home too, man. Like I don't like going anywhere out and like not like putting myself in danger, but it is dangerous.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you said, like you always gotta be ready for something, man. So like shrooms at the house, dude. When we went to LA, when I went to LA about a month ago and we rented an RV, some of the people in the RV popped some shrooms. Yeah. But they were having a good time, man. Dude, I love watching people do drugs, honestly. Because like it makes them happy, man. Like I don't partake in like that anymore, man. You know, I had my time where it was like you know, a weekly thing, you know, 3 or 4 times a week. You know, I lived it. It was cool, it was fun. But like now when people do it, like to see the like on the other side of being sober and seeing the joy that like something like that brings to people, that shit's cool, man. That's a moment for me, man. Like you soak it up, you're like, man, I know exactly what it feels like, or I know like exactly like what he's going through, and it's a good feeling, man. So like, dude, even if I don't do it with you, I'd sit there and watch you do some shrooms, man. All right. For sure.
Good, dude. Guys, don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs. Yeah, we're not promoting them.
No, definitely not.
But nobody wants to die a virgin.
Yeah. Oh. Dominican Republican drugs, dude.
Yeah,
but yeah, sure. I don't feel like you should really partake in that stuff before your mid-20s anyways, really. Little here and there, maybe just to experiment, but like you're still developing. Your brain is still developing until your mid-20s, you know, and that could really fuck you up. And, you know, even Christian, some of his friends at school, or he would tell us stories that the kids already at school, they're smoking weed and smoking vapes, and I'm just like, damn, I feel bad for those kids, dude, because first of all, they're skipping over their childhood, which they're gonna miss for the rest of their fucking life. Yeah. To start doing some stuff that they're probably gonna do for the rest of their life. You know, you could do it later on. Whatever. I'm 35, dude. You know,
Yeah.
you can do it whenever you're a fucking adult. You have bills paid, you go to work, everything's taken care of, you know. But these kids' brains aren't even developed yet, and they're just ruining their chance before they even become an adult to know what they want to do in the future.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely recommend like like as you're growing up, as you're progressing throughout your life, like wait till you hit like a wall where you're like, like I think I've gotten all I can get out of like this period of my life. My brain's not
Yeah.
cranking like it used to crank out. Like, all right, pop some shrooms, do a sheet of acid, just like watch your brain like open up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It opens. I say this, man. When you do drugs like Molly or X or shrooms or like acid or whatever the case may be, the day after your brain is tired. Not only is your body tired, but like your brain is tired because it's been moving at like a faster rate while you're on those drugs. So like when you do shrooms and like all the colors are vibrant and you see everything shaking, you see things coming at you, it's because your brain's working 1,000 times harder than it would be when you're not on it.
Yeah.
So like, dude, stuff like that opens up your brain. I do believe there are like parts of your brain that like only drugs can unlock.
Mm-hmm.
So drugs are bad, and I'm not saying you should go out and just get hooked on them, but like an experience with them, I feel like it would be good for everybody. It'll give everybody a chance to understand why people do them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like Karen can't bash on Bobby if she's never done it before, so she has no idea. You know what I mean? If she did it and didn't like it, I let her bash Bobby.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But like if she's never done it and she's seen him on it and all she sees is just him, like swaying and stuff like that, she doesn't know what that feeling is like. You know what I mean? And anybody doesn't know what that feeling is like, then like who are you to say it's bad or not, man?
Yeah.
They're missing out, bro.
Yeah. Now, how do you feel about the headspace when you start experimenting? What kind of headspace should you be in?
You should be in a good mood, man. You should be in a good mood. Like barriers and barriers of good mood, because when you're on drugs, like that slightest like guilt can like ruin your shit, and it'll take hours to get you out of that, man. Hours. I've been there, man, where I've done something and I was like, man, I'm gonna pop this and make me feel better.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then that little bit of guilt kicks in, and then you can't sleep. So for 8 hours, I'm just thinking about that guilt. You know what I mean? So you want to be in a good space, man. You know what I mean? Like you and Ash want to be able to like talk all your problems out before, and then do them, and then you're like, that's so funny. I can't believe we did that. You know what I mean? Or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? But like you should definitely be in like a good mood.
Yeah. I think that's what happens with when people get hooked on drugs as well. They use that to cover it up, and they just keep using and using to cover up the badness that's going on, and people use that as an escape. And I feel like the same way with alcohol too.
Yeah.
I don't want to say I'm against alcohol, but I don't recommend anybody really partaking in alcohol.
Yeah. How many years for you now, man?
Almost. It's going to be 10 this year in November.
Crazy.
10 years, dude.
Crazy. Because I remember that, Frank.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I know,
Very
man.
first time I met Frank, we were in Las Vegas.
Oh, shit. That's right.
First time I met Frank, like he pulls up and he has like a grocery bag of Tecates. And he's like, we just walked down the strip and we ended up drinking like these hot ass Tecates. But Frank used to be a tank, man. A tank. And it's crazy because I think that's the only time I've ever known you, like met you, while you were drinking.
Yeah.
I think every other time after that, you weren't drinking.
Yeah. So in 2010, that's when we met. Everybody listening, you might know Jay Thamavong, the S2000, S2KJ. That's how me and Chubby met. So we went to Vegas for Chubby's birthday, or Jay's birthday. And that's when we were drinking out there and stuff. But it was that year. That was the last year. And I had met Jay that same year at Import Alliance. And when I went to Import Alliance, the summer meet, that was the first time I ever traveled for Downstar outside of California and set up a booth and everything. After the show, go back to the hotel, get completely fucked up. And then the next day, it was basically just wasted. and I was sitting at the booth, felt miserable, and people were just coming up to me like, "What's up, bro?" And I'm like, "I don't even know who the fuck you are, dude." Yeah. But I guess I was partying with them the night before. And then after that, I was like, dude, if I want this Downstar stuff to go, like, I can't be doing this. This is not professional. This is not. I wouldn't buy stuff from somebody like that. You know, I got to take this seriously. So that was one of the things that really helped me stop drinking. But right before that, Jay's birthday is, I think it's like August or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So that's when we went to Vegas. But yeah, ever since then, it's just never did anything good for me. It's always done a lot of negative for me. And other people, it's probably good for them. But the most that I've seen is a lot of bad things happen and a lot of bad decisions. And then also people using it to loosen up, right? Yeah. And that's something that I never really wanted to do, because I didn't want to have a substance to make me into a better person.
Yeah.
You know, and that's kind of person. Exactly. Like, I want to be fun off the rip.
Yeah, I want to be fun all the time.
Exactly. You know, and that's kind of how I feel about smoking right now, is that I'm still hard on myself when, you know, I'm feeling anxious, I'm not feeling that good, not that I'm not having a good day, and my thing to lean on is smoking, because that'll just change my mood real quick, you know. But then I have to realize that, you know, that anxiety that I have, that's something that it's very hard to control, and other people control it with like pills or something like that, you know. So if I smoke a little bit at night, it helps me take off the edge, you know. I kind of justify it a little more than I would with drinking. But still, I don't need, like, I would like to feel great all the time no matter what, but it's just, that's just not reality.
Yeah, I treat smoking like, or like any recreational drug, you know, if you're doing it all the time, then, you know, shame on you. Like, let's not do it. Let's get it right. Let's get you right. But like anything in moderation, or like as a celebration, it's a fucking good time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I do mine as a reward system. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like I'm all right. This week, I think I'm gonna try to, you know, hop on some shrooms or whatever the case may be. I'm gonna work super hard. I'm gonna bust my ass. You know, I'm gonna get it to where my boss tells me I've been doing a good job, and you know, every time he tells me a good job, that's how many caps and stems I'm gonna take for that weekend, or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? Like something as a reward.
Yeah.
And like when you do it, it makes that experience, that headspace, that much better, because you know you earned it.
Yeah.
Like people ask me like, why you work so hard, man? And I always tell myself, man, that meal at the end of the day after you worked hard is the best meal.
Yeah.
Right? It's just like here in the South, you know what I mean? If you're doing yard work all day, it's fucking 97 degrees, the humidity's popping, the mosquitoes are biting, you're sweating, you know, you put in 4 hours just to cut the lawn, you know, you're edging. So you come inside, you get a cup of like lemonade or a cup of sweet tea, it's the best shit you'll ever have, because you put in the work for it, you earn that shit. You know what I mean? So I think that with drugs, it's the same way, man. If you get a promotion, shit, I got no problem with you, you know, celebrating a little bit. You know, what's the point of not patting yourself on the back when you do something good, when you know what I mean? Because nobody knows how hard you work but yourself.
Yeah.
So if you're not going to reward yourself for that hard work, then, you know, that's on you, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm all for like recreational drugs. You know what I mean? Like if you're out there, you know, once a month, you know, once every few weeks, that's cool, man. I definitely don't recommend 7 days a week.
Yeah.
4 days a week or 3 days a week. You know what I mean? But once a week, once every 2 weeks, I mean, I think that's fine, man. Honestly, I don't think that's an addiction. You know what I mean? I feel like if you can mix it up, if it's like every fourth Friday of the month or something like that, then, you know, you can show some pretty good restraint in those in the time between.
Yeah.
But if you can't, then, you know, obviously seek some help.
Yeah, definitely. And speaking of addiction, man, I was addicted to caffeine. You know, I got off of caffeine. In probably the last month, I've maybe had one coffee, and that's rare, because I usually have at least one or two during the day.
Dude, what were those things you were drinking from Starbucks, man?
Oh, those are the salted foam cold brew, dude.
Oh man,
that's like a regular coffee, but like on crack, dude. The cold foam or the cold brews, it's just fucking strong. And it just didn't really register to me that was making me have a lot of anxiety as well. Because when you're riding that wave of caffeine and everything's good and you're just taking care of shit and you're going, it's perfect. But then when somebody stops you, or you hit like a roadblock or something, somebody comes into the shop and you have to stop what you're doing, you feel like that just coming to a complete stop and just having to go talk to somebody, and then you get frustrated with that. At least that's how I felt, dude. And I was like, man, these mood swings. This is hard, dude. I can't do that.
Yeah, so I think everybody's got an addiction to something. Yeah, like cigarettes, alcohol, whatever it was. And man, like back in my younger days, man, I used to do all sorts of shit, like weekdays.
Yeah.
Work nights. I had to be at work at 10. I'll fucking stay up to like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
7, 8, 9. Not sleeping 30 minutes before the job. You know what I mean? So I always told myself from then, like, man, I don't ever want to do like hardcore drugs like that ever again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But obviously, shit happens and you do it. And I did some and I overdid it, but I had an epiphany on it. You know what I mean? Like when I was finished, I thought to myself, like, man, dude, like that's why I don't do that shit anymore. You know what I mean? Because I like it too much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that's the thing everybody has to realize. If they can realize that they like something too much, then you shouldn't have it anymore. You know what I mean? If you like coffee too much, that you like that caffeine, that little rush, like maybe you shouldn't have it as much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because the stuff that you like a lot like that is never really good for you, man. Even like relationships, like, stuff like that for some people, you know what I mean? Like you're with a person all the time, you see them, you just want to be around them, smell them and shit like that. Like, shit's not good for you, man.
Yeah.
Same things with drugs or, anything in life.
Yeah. So, I know that you took a break from smoking. Tell me what it was like with those vivid dreams, because I've taken breaks before, and it's like that night that you don't smoke, like you have the craziest dreams. Everything is just so vivid, and it's kind of scary sometimes.
Yeah. So the backdrop with me quitting smoking was I had just had a hump where I was like, man, the quarantine got the best of me. You know what I mean? I'm going to party a little bit hard. And I partied hard for like 2.5 days, 3 days straight. And then I felt it for like 10 days afterwards.
Wow,
so
that long?
That long. For that day you called me, I think it was like
it was like Sunday, 2 or 3 days, yeah.
It was like 2 or 3 days. Or it might have been a week after. So I had been like recovery, but I had just been freshly recovered. I think it was like Memorial Day or something like that. Whatever the case may be, like, man, I just thought to myself, like, man, dude, I don't ever want to feel like that. Like, again, like I was fortunate enough that it was just like a small little hiccup and it wasn't like over the freaking waterfall type shit. So, I caught myself and I said, man, you know what? Like cold turkey, like everything, and I don't drink much if any at all, for as long as you know me. So no more drinking, no more smoking, like no sodas, everything was just clean, right? So like I was having these crazy dreams, but the dreams could have been part of just that recovery off of what I was coming down from. But the freaking dreams were fucking hoary, man, like, or just gory, dude.
Were they?
There was just blood everywhere, man, like killing and shit like that. And I'd wake up, dude, like sweating, like dry sweat, and just didn't even have to take a shit, but just want to go sit on the toilet just to cool myself off. You know what I mean? Like, damn, that was intense. You know what I mean? But, coming off of something like that, like, just, I don't know if you ever seen, like, New Jack City.
I don't remember
New Jack City? It's got Wesley in it.
I know Chris the movie, but I just don't remember it.
Okay. So in it, like, Chris Rock's a recovering, like, crackhead. But, like, when he's recovering, he's, like, relapsing. You can't just cold turkey off of something. You gotta like ease into something. So like even when you go to like what are those centers? Those recovery centers. They just kind of ease you back into it. Like the smart way is like, if you're getting off a crack or whatever, to give you a couple hits of like some bud, to give you a high, just not that particular high that you're craving all the time. Just kind of ease you into it. Because if you go cold turkey, like your brain's always used to have these weird visuals or whatever the case may be, just intense. So when you go cold turkey, like the shit just gets even more intense. Like it's just your brain's searching for those dreams and they're not there anymore. So now like your brain's making up like worse dreams. So man, they were just really gory, like a lot of killing, A lot of just vibrant colors, like running through like fields, like just being lost. Like those dreams were just of me being lost of like what was happening in my life at the time.
Got you. Yeah, last night I had a bad dream. I don't even know what it was, but I just woke up and I just felt like I need to stay up a little while before I go back to bed because I just don't
Yeah.
want to jump back into that dream, whatever it was. I put on the TV and I chilled for a little while, and it's crazy, bro. Like, what do you think that is, dude? What do you think that dreams are, man? Sometimes it really feels like I'm living in another life. Like I'm actually living that life, whatever's happening.
See, I think it's that part of that brain that we don't get to use pretty often. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And when you get on drains like shrooms or acid or whatever, and you see like the vivid colors and stuff like that, that's that part of that brain that we don't get to tap into much.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I feel like when we're sleeping, the brain is sleeping, but that part that's like hiding in the back, like that's his time to like shine. So like, you know what I mean? Like, oh shit, like everybody else is asleep. Let me sneak up into his head and like fuck some shit up. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and like I said, I believe in that. I believe in there's a part of your brain that like you don't get to tap into.
Yeah.
You know, that little 1 or 0.2% back there where everybody else is sleeping, they can come in and just fuck everything up.
Yeah.
So I feel like a lot of people don't remember their dreams. I don't know if you have that thing where like you just don't remember a lot of your dreams.
Yeah, it goes away quick.
It goes away quick, right? So like when you're sleeping, everything else is sleeping. So that 2% comes out, has this fucking dream, and then all of a sudden the rest of your brain like wakes up.
Yeah.
And then that 2% just tucks back in.
Yeah.
And then you're kind of like, man, what was that? Like, was something there or was something not there?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have that like that deja vu feeling like, man, did I hear something or was that real? Was that dream real? I feel like that's that 2% of your brain like sneaking out and then going back into hiding when everybody else wakes up.
Do you feel like the experiences that you have in dreams, you could use that feeling to help you navigate when you're awake if that situation ever arises again?
Uh, uh, I don't know, man, because sometimes when you have like deja vu, like you have it and you think like, man, that's the exact scenario that
Yeah.
happened like in my dream for it, like for that deja vu to pick up. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because like if the deja vu, if that moment only 3/4 happened, it wouldn't be a full on like your deja vu wouldn't kick in.
Yeah.
Does that makes sense? You
Well,
know what
I
I mean?
guess
Like,
what I'm trying to say is, like, I know probably everybody that's in a serious relationship has probably had a dream where they cheated, and I've had dreams where I've cheated, and in the dream I just feel immense guilt and regret for what I've done, so I can use that in my reality
real.
that like,
Yeah,
okay, I've cheated plenty of times in my dreams and I always feel like shit.
yeah. No, yeah, I definitely think like dreams or me personally, man. Whenever I'm about to make something or do something, I literally do ask myself like, should I do this?
Yeah.
I literally do. I swear to God. Like if I'm about to go buy like a sandwich and I'm about to get double meat, I
Yeah.
literally be like, I really need double meat. Nah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I do have those thinking periods where I'm like, do I need to run this red light
Yeah.
or should I not run this red light? Like I'm big on weighing like cause and effect.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? If I do this shit's gonna happen. And so for event, and I'm blessed to have that time to think about something like that. But like definitely if I saw something in my dreams, like man, I don't know. I don't think I could ever remember a dream where I could be like, man, I'm gonna use that in real life. I think my dreams are pretty out there.
Yeah.
Pretty like just outrageous, either like just I'm an action hero or you know what I mean, I'm floating in outer space or something of that sort, man. But like I don't ever feel like my dreams are realistic.
Got you.
I feel like mine are very, very vivid, like out there dreaming. Like I wake up and I'm like, that was a dream. You know what I mean? Like never. Like I think the only dream I feel like is real life is like that dream where you're falling off the building and you fucking hit the ground and then you wake up and you're like,
whoa.
shit. You know what I mean? And that might be where my fear of heights come from because I'm terrified of heights.
No shit.
Terrified of heights. And I have that dream like often, like at least once a month. Like I have that dream where I'm falling, I just hit the ground.
What if that's how you died in a past life?
It could be, man. I'm not sure who told me, but I remember a long, long time ago, somebody told me if you die in your dreams, you die in real life. So when you're having that dream, when you're falling off the building, you always wake up before you hit the ground.
Mm-hmm.
So for me personally, when I'm falling off that building, I always wake up before I hit the ground.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not really dying in my dream. I'm waking up right before that moment happened.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what the science is behind it, that like if you die in your dream, it's like the Matrix. You know, you die in the Matrix, shit, ball game.
Yeah.
So I mean that kind of interests me. I like to know like the science behind that. I mean, I don't know if that's a serious subject or not, but you know,
it should be.
Yeah, I believe in that shit. You know what I mean? But like I said, man, nobody's gonna pat you on the back more than you. You know what I mean? So like that, that's something I believe in. If you die in your dream, you know, you die in real life. So I don't know if you're able to maneuver your way through a dream, or if a dream's like a movie that's already shot and being shown to you.
Got you.
You know, so it's yeah. I don't know, man. Maybe we should donate some money to some people to find out.
I think there should be a lot more research on dreams and realize what the hell is even going on, because we're probably just hopping around from, you know, parallel universes or jumping around and, well, what's going on over here?
Yeah.
And then you end up falling off the building.
Yeah, for sure. Man, do you think animals have dreams? That's the real question.
You know, you're probably one of the only people that has really made me think about animals differently. I know I've talked about this before, but I remember we were at your house and we were going to go inside and there was a bug on the wall and you captured it, or you didn't even mess with it. And I said, well, you're not going to do nothing? He's like, nah, just let him rock. And then I'm just like, wow, that's a crazy concept. But it's true, man.
Dude, man, I think animals just mind their business, man. Animals are curious. I don't feel like they're a threat to anybody. They're just curious, just like me and you. Like we talked about earlier, like what's going on in the world. Like we don't want to necessarily be a part of it or be against it or be with it, whatever the case be. We just want to be around it. We want to, you know, you want to feel the energy.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that natural high. I want to feel the energy from it. I think like animals are the same way, man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're just minding their business. I feel like if you watch any animal documentary, you see lions, zebras, gazelles, or whatever the case. They all drink out of the same water hole.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like they're hungry all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Me and Yanni, we watched this Netflix things yesterday. It's called Tales of the Light, about photographers going around the world and like shooting whatever, you know, animals or whatever. And this one dude goes like smack dab in like Alaska. He's like in the middle of a river, but he's watching these bears like hunt for food. And like he's literally standing 10 feet, 10 yards or something like that from a grizzly bear, the largest grizzly bear in America. And the bear is just minding his business, chilling.
Yeah.
Like hunting the fish, you know, just doesn't even notice the dude is there. And I told Yanni, I said, man, dude, that's the crazy thing about wildlife is, you know, people want to say they're scary or they're mean or whatever it is. Like they're just minding their business. They hunt when they're hungry. Besides that, they're just chill. They just mind their own business. They're not worried about anything else, dude. Anything. I think we can learn a lot from it, man.
Yeah, I think so too, man. And ever since you told me that, dude, that always stuck with me. And now even whenever I see spiders, I'll try to grab their web and take them outside and just throw them on a plant or something. I rarely kill any animals or bugs. The only ones I will kill are spiders, and that's when, you know, sometimes I'll let a spider rock, bro. All right, cool. You're chilling right there. Go ahead. That's where you're going to be at. But once you start fucking coming into my space, then we're going to have a problem. Then you're disrespecting.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, but they just curious, bro. They curious. You might be wearing a cologne they like. You know what I mean? You might have some crumbs on your shoulders. You know what I mean? They're just curious, man. But I don't fuck with snakes. So
no?
You know, I'm with you, man. If I saw a snake, I'd fuck them up, man. I wouldn't even give them a chance to rock, honestly. Like reptiles, I really don't fuck with reptiles.
All reptiles or just snakes?
I mean, it's tough to say, man. But I'm gonna say like all reptiles.
Really?
I really don't fuck with that slimy shit.
Oh shit! Where do you think that comes from, dude?
Man, I think just like texture, like going up and like picking up a snake. Like I've never touched a snake, but like a lizard I've picked up. But like they're just weird, man. They're just slimy, slippery, and I don't know. I don't like that. I don't like it, man. I don't fuck with it. I don't. I think like reptiles, you can't tell them no, or you can't be trained. Like they can't be trained from like sound. You know what I mean? Like you get a cat, you can kind of hang out with the cat, tell the cat no, teach the cat a trick or whatever the case may be. Same thing with like a dog
Yeah.
or like a bird. You know, you can teach it tricks. A snake, man, a snake's just rolling. You can tell a snake roll over, and that motherfucker's gonna look at you sideways. Same thing with like a lizard or like a crocodile, or like reptiles, man. They don't listen, man.
Do you think there's really reptilian humanoids?
Yeah, man, I'm with it.
Shapeshifters?
Yeah, I'm with it. I feel like I believe in reincarnation. You know what I mean? Like being born something or someone else. And man, no doubt in my mind that some animals could be have been humans in the past life.
Yeah.
So that's why some dogs, they're just really good companions. I think a really good companion is maybe that dog was a human in the past life, and he just knows what he's going through.
So you think as reincarnation as from any species?
Yeah, dude, I think you could switch from anything, man. I think if you believe in reincarnation, you believe in living 1,000,000 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you think dinosaurs are a real thing, I believe that there's an animal walking this earth that probably was a dinosaur probably, 1,000,000 years ago.
Yeah. Like a bird or something?
A bird, a crocodile or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, dude, crocodiles are crazy. To think they could live up to 100 years.
Yeah.
150 years. I mean, that's pretty nuts. I won't even know what to do with my life for 150 years.
I know. Their life is just probably if you put their whole life into the busyness of a human's life, it's probably 35 years. Because they probably spend a whole year just not even moving.
Yeah, dude, that's how I feel about sea animals, like fish and shit. I think those are the worst animals to be. Like if everybody got a chance to be like an animal, like anything in the water would probably be last on the list, dude. They don't sleep, man. They're just awake all the time.
Yeah. That shit's got to be boring, dude.
Yeah, dude. And it's dark all the time. Yeah. All the time. You know what I mean? Like you're literally just swimming. If you ever watch those animal shows, these great whites will swim, halfway across the world just to have a baby where they were born and then swim back.
Yeah. For what?
What kind of shit is that? So you literally are doing the same thing. It took you 3 years to swim to this one place. You had your baby. Now you're going to swim 3 years to another place. Yeah. And then you get pregnant again. You got to swim 3 years back. Your life is just swimming in a big ass circle, the same shit over and over again. Like seals, what is that? You know what I mean? So yeah, anything that has to do with being in the water, man, that's going to be a no for me, dog.
Yeah, I'm good on that, dude. Isn't it so crazy that when you're on the beach, on the shore, you're really on the gateway to another world? That's the end of our world and the beginning of their world.
Yeah.
Who knows what
dude, I'm scared of the water, man, honestly.
Really?
I enjoy being around the water. I don't enjoy being in the water. The water kind of freaks me out.
Yeah. Have you ever had any bad experiences or what?
Dude, I'll say this, and it's kind of been in recent news here in Georgia. It was actually trending on Twitter nationwide sometime last week. But there's this man-made lake here called Lake Lanier in Georgia.
Yeah.
It's about an hour and a half north of Atlanta.
Yeah.
Excuse me, man. But in the 1950s, it used to be a small town. They built the river or whatever the case may be. They needed to build a dam. So they flooded the city and made it into a lake. They pretty much dismantled the city.
Okay.
But in the city was a big burial ground. So there were random people were buried there, I guess from war or whatever the case may be. But nobody knew who they were. They were just random bodies or whatever the case may be. So they flooded the whole thing. They made it into a lake, and it's one of the biggest lakes in Georgia. People go fishing on it. They do all sorts of shit on Lake Lanier. But every year on Lake Lanier, somebody dies, and mysteriously dies. And last week, 2 people died, and they drowned, and they haven't found the bodies yet. But when I was a kid, we used to go to Lake Lanier, and I remember we used to play in the water. And I remember my cousin Yoshi, he was in the water maybe knee deep, he wasn't even It wasn't even deep, maybe like halfway up your thigh, like
Gotcha.
thigh deep water. And I remember him cutting like his foot, like gushed it, like whole like foot just sliced. I was like, man, what the hell happened? And I'm pretty sure he told me like, man, it felt like somebody was pulling me into the water.
No
And
way.
and ever since then, like nobody really fucks with Lake Lanier. But I think like since the 1950s, I want to say I'm gonna say definitely over 300 deaths, but I think the number is like closer to like 600.
Whoa.
Look it up. Everybody who's watching or listening, Lake Lanier in Georgia, like read the stories.
You know, that's so funny
Georgia.
because when we went to Atlanta with Prep, we
Yeah.
went to Bass Pro Shop, and
Yeah.
he's looking and he's like, "Oh shit, there's a big ass lake right here." And then we went to go visit you guys, and then we were telling you, "Oh, there's this big ass lake," and everybody's like, "Nope, nope, nope."
Nope. Yep, exactly. Nope. Like people don't fuck with it, man. But it's crazy to think like people still fuck with it, but don't fuck with it, and the people who fuck with it don't really know like the history
Got
behind it,
you.
or like they don't pay attention to it. Like it's crazy to say, but like for us, it's like, oh man, like man, another person, died in Lake Lanier.
Yeah.
That's just what it is. But after a while, you gotta think like, man, somebody's died in Lake Lanier for like the last, 100 years or 60 years or whatever the case may be. So like,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't fuck with lakes, man. You just never know what's in it, what is like made around. Nah.
Well,
It's
what
gonna be a
about
no.
comparing that to any other lakes around you as far as deaths?
I don't think as many, or definitely not as many for sure. Like it's definitely not like newsworthy. Why? Because Lake Lanier is so huge.
Mm-hmm.
It's so big. So like if a person died in another lake, it could be just because that person didn't know how to swim,
Yeah.
or the case they thought they could swim to the other side. But like in Lake Lanier, there's no way you could have thought you could swim to the other side of that lake, or anything like that. So
Yeah.
I don't know why people get in the water at Lake Lanier.
Have you heard any other stories? Like, is there a lot of
Uh,
stories online and such?
Well, there's one story of this diver. He's like a professional, like scuba diver, or he works for the county or something like that. So he's been like a part of a lot of the like rescue dives.
Mm-hmm.
But he said when he first started diving in Lake Lanier, he would go in and like he said the worst part of him, or the worst thing he's ever experienced, was swimming through the water, like reaching out into the water and like feeling a limb and like pulling up like a body who doesn't like. He like say it was a burial ground for sure was there.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't know if it's like a body from like another person or if it's just like a body floating up from like a grave. So yeah, I mean, I think the guy's name's like something Buchanan. I think it's like D Buchanan or something like that. He's got some pretty crazy stories about Lake Lanier.
Wow. Do you
Yeah,
ever see
man.
anything crazy out that way? Like aliens or ghosts or anything like that?
Nah, I believe in ghosts though.
Yeah.
But my thing with ghosts is I think they're too smart to be caught.
Hmm.
I just think like, they're just too smart, man. Like why would they want us to see them one time, or why would they like if they wanted us to see them,
Mm-hmm.
they would just make themselves visible for 20 seconds instead of half a second.
Yeah.
Like why would a ghost just appear for half a second? So that's how I feel about ghosts. But I definitely believe in ghosts though, man, for sure.
You think there's one posted up at your pad right now?
Shit, at the old pad, Emily used to be there all day.
Ooh. Tell me about that.
Man, I mean, I just had the old house, man. Like, growing up in a lot of houses here in Georgia have, they have basements.
Yeah.
And, this that typical, like, scary movie, you watch growing up of, like, the person killing somebody and throwing that body in the basement.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, growing up being, like, having a house with a basement, like, you never wanted to be in the basement alone. Like, there was always somebody, like, creeping or some shit like that. But I believe in ghosts. I think we can hear them. I think they fuck shit up. But as far as seeing them, I don't, man. How do you feel about that?
I believe in ghosts.
Yeah.
Every ghost listening right now, I got mad respect for you. Just do your thing. I don't need you to prove yourself to me. We're good. But I definitely would like to see an alien over a ghost for sure.
Oh, no, yeah, 100%. I would just like to see what an alien actually looks like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if you think alien now, you think like the dude from Family or the American Dad, like the big, big head,
yeah.
skinny and shit like that. But dude, what if aliens look just like us, or if they look like, dude, Transformers or some shit?
Yeah. Yeah, they.
Yeah,
I mean, they could even be tiny. like orbs and such.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think if anybody's ever gonna see an alien, it's gonna be my boy Elon Musk.
Yeah.
I think he's a machine.
Yeah. He's
He's a
definitely a
machine.
different character for sure.
Yeah, he's unique, but he's unique and like with a very open mind. Like
Yeah.
he's super smart, but he's not like he hasn't been like sheltered.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he's very open to like ideas, and I think like that's the key to like a really smart person or to like a good person is just being open to things, like understanding. You know what I mean? Like if me and you are always talking, but like you're always correcting me, or if I'm always correcting you, we're really not learning anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If we're fighting each other on like a subject or something like that. And I think that's like our respect towards each other is like we're very understanding.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we listen to each other and you just understand. I think like that's what he does well.
Yeah.
Very well.
Definitely. Back on the subject of dreams, I wanted to ask you this because I've always thought about it and I don't have an answer for it. What do people that were born blind, what do they dream of?
I don't know, man. I
Sound?
think it's hard to say, man. I think not ever knowing what anything looks like is got to be weird.
Yeah.
So what can they really dream about because they've never seen it?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like how can they dream of a car? They don't ever know what a car looks like. You know what I mean? Or whatever the case may be. So I think their whole perception of life is through like a different lens, could be like very unique. Like the letter P could look like the letter A.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or a cat could be a freaking buffalo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I mean, more power to man. People who live with like something like that, like being blind or being deaf or something like that, man. Like more power to them, man. Because I do think about that, like not all the time, but like pretty often. Like what would I do? Which one would I rather be? Like what can I live without? And honestly, man, like it's never easy to choose, like to not ever be able to hear anything,
Yeah.
or not to be able to see anything or like feel anything. It's tough, man. I don't like to think about it, but I do. And man, more power to them, man. What do you think they see?
I don't know, man. I would really, really like to have a conversation with somebody. I just wouldn't want to be disrespectful or make them feel a certain way. But if they were a person that's very, outspoken and they just understand what life has dealt them and they want to talk about it, dude, I would love to have that conversation because I think that would just give me a different way of looking at things. I just thought about it right now. I always think that, we've had past lives. I think that we have because there's certain things that I do, certain reasons of the way that I'll come to a conclusion or doing something, not doing something, doing it a certain way. Like I've never had any experience in that field, but like my instinct goes a certain way,
Yeah.
And then I think like, where does that instinct even come from? Even like on planet Earth where they have the lizards and they're born, and then right when they're born they know they have to run to these rocks or the lizard or the snakes are going to get them. Like how do they know that? You know? So I feel like we have remnants in our DNA from our past lives that helps us navigate through life. And maybe that's what like deja vu is. It's like something from the past or whatever. I feel like there's certain things inside of me that feel a lot older than I really am. And maybe that's what dreams are, is, memories from past lives. And who knows what that past life was? It doesn't have to be on a timeline. So I was born in 85. So I had to have died in 85. So I had to be born however, so I was born in 65 or whatever happened. Time can be, my next life could be in the past. And then in the future, it's just not even this earth, everything. That's why dreams are so crazy. So what if you were born blind, but you're still dreaming, but you have no way to even explain what you're seeing?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, that's an interesting take, man, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, man, when you get somebody on to talk about that, I kind of want to be a part of that.
Imagine that, dude.
Yeah, dude. I just want to know, like, I just want to know what it feels like or what they feel like when they're around people.
Yeah.
And people are talking about something. You know what I mean? Like I don't know anybody blind nor deaf.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I couldn't imagine being around somebody and like talking about, my favorite color, or something that they couldn't experience. Like does that make them feel bad? Does that make them feel a certain
Yeah.
way? Like do they now like resent you for talking about that around them,
Well,
or
then you
do
could
they
think.
look at it as like, you know what, like, I think it's pretty, they probably think like, oh, it's pretty cool. I do look at this color a certain way, or
Yeah.
I have an own image in my head.
Yeah.
So
It could be that they're just a person as well, and one person will handle tragedy way different. And
different,
I don't want
yeah.
I don't want to even say tragedy. I don't mean any disrespect to anybody that was born, blind or deaf or anything like that, but just born differently than others. Some people, they'll capitalize on it, and some people, they'll let that control the rest of their life. So you would really have to find that kind of person who's open and who wants to talk about it, who's kind of like, takes life how it is. But we're just talking about privileges. Sight is a privilege. That's a privilege that we don't think is that big of a deal, because most people have sight, but the people that don't have sight, it's definitely a privilege that we do have it. But the same way to go to a concert and your homie's 6'5", and you're 5'6", and that dude gets to see everything, and you're just like, damn, I wish I was that tall. But you're not just looking at the guy like it's ruining your day. You're just like, oh, that would be dope if I was as tall as that dude.
Nah, man, if I was at a concert and a 6'5" dude stood in front of me, I'd probably be upset, man. I'm not gonna lie, man. I've had that happen before, man. Like, like, you know what? That's happened to me before, and I just thought to myself, like, man, you not give a fuck about anybody else? Like, come on, man. Like, you turned around and you looked and saw how short I was, and like how short everybody else was. Like, you had to be right here. Like, you couldn't go off into the side a little bit.
But what about he wants to experience it, dog?
I feel you, but but him being that tall, he can experience that shit 10 rows back still. You know what I mean?
What if he would have had somebody on his shoulders then? Would that have been better?
I'm not down with that shoulder shit at all. At all, man.
Why?
I feel like women, they get to take advantage of that more, because obviously, a guy wants, a woman on his shoulders. Like, it ain't gonna be two dudes fucking shoulder up with my fucking balls on your shoulder.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, man, nah, man, like being on the shoulder things, like, dude, if you're gonna do that shit, take that shit to the back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And definitely, like, whoever shoulders you on, make sure he gets a rub me down or something later.
Yeah.
Because he's working hard down there. Like, he might be seem like he's having fun, but that man's struggling down there, dude, and he's struggling hard.
He's working hard for that 5 minutes later at the end of the night.
Dude, and dude, I tell people all this time, man, and like I tell girls this all the time, but men will do anything to get the booty.
Yeah.
Anything. Say anything, they will do anything.
Yeah.
That's sorry to, shoot us out like that, man. That's just the way it is, man.
Yeah. It is. It's the goal at the end, man. And
yeah.
If dudes use that motivation of getting pussy to like other things,
dude, sky's the limit. Sky's the limit. Like just think about this, like 5-minute rub me down, generational wealth.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go with the rub me down. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's the way it seems like. Yeah. I'm gonna go with the rub me down. That instant. But I think that's like I hate to say it, man, but it's like a millennial thing about being like, just have instant satisfaction and having everything to be perfect. And I think that's like hurt society, is trying to like get that instant gratification and then wanting to have it be perfect also. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be 6'5", built with a nice car and a nice house. You know what I mean? But if I was 5'6" with a nice house with a lot of money, I would be mad that I'm only 5'6", but not appreciating that you had anything else. You know what I mean? But I think that's just a part of like how we grew up. Like, our parents were super hard on us. We grew up and we always told ourselves we're never gonna be like our parents, and it would become so loosely that like you lose track of those values that came along with every lesson like your parents taught you growing up. So I know like spanking children is like frowned upon now.
Yeah.
Dude, my grandma used to whip my ass.
Really?
You know what I mean? Whip my ass, bro. Whip my ass, like switch, go outside, like drill me with some switches. You know, pops needs to just kick my ass. You know what I mean? But like, it made me fear, not in a bad way, but in more like a motivational way. Like, all right, I'm gonna become stronger so I don't get my ass whooped. You know what I mean? Or like, am I gonna steal this from the store, or should I just go cut somebody's grass for it real quick?
Yeah.
Because if I can just cut the grass for it, I can just go get it. But if I steal it, I'm gonna get my ass whooped a little bit later.
Yeah.
Like, I think like not fearing something like kind of puts like the world in a crazy space.
Yeah, I agree with you to a point. I don't agree with hitting kids.
Yeah.
You know, I think that there's definitely a lot more ways of getting their attention, and in the old days, that was the easiest thing to do. You know, because it's through all spectrums, everybody, every race, religion, everybody. It seems like that's the way that they dealt with it. Is you know, it was even done at school. You know, schools, churches, and things like that. But I feel like that it's my responsibility as a parent to be able to get this message across without using fear or intimidation, and using that as, you know, the glass case last resort, where yo, this kid is either gonna go to jail, gonna join a gang, or I'm gonna break this fucking case and stop this shit right now. You know, but for things to get to that point, it just doesn't happen off bat. You know, I mean, some kids it does, because they're just evil little kids, you know, but it takes a lot of the parents as well, you know, and not saying that the parents were bad, but, you know, parents had to work. They had to do a lot of things, and they had a lot of responsibilities, and they really didn't have as much fun as we do nowadays. If you think about it, bro, right? Go back to your parents' age. When your parents were your age, my parents were my age, I guarantee I'm having way more fun than them.
Oh, 100 times, bro.
Right?
100 times more. They had so much more responsibility than we had.
Yeah.
And I think like growing up, like, I'm not talking like full force, like closed fist hitting somebody. I just, you know, just spanking them, bending them over, giving them a couple pats, you know, just not enough to where they hurt, but enough for them to feel it.
Yeah. I feel
you. Know what I mean? Like my grandma, like, she wouldn't hit me with like a full on log. You know what I mean? She would make me go get the skinniest freaking switch and hit me with it. And those were the worst. Those, like, they didn't hurt, but they stung so bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like getting like a shot in your shoulder. You know what I mean? Like the needle, that first prick just fucking hurts. But I mean, yeah, I mean, I feel like, man, just a love tap here and there, I think it goes a long way. I feel like, but you know, to each his own. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that I'm not saying that it's like, if you do it, like, your kid's gonna grow up better or anything like that. You know what I mean? But like I said, well, every kid is different. They learn different. I just think we're a little easy on kids. Yeah. But like I said, man, they're kids. They are kids, though.
Yeah, they are kids, dude. And now, since we have so many more things than our parents did, we have the ability to take away stuff from them. I mean, like, when I was younger, I didn't even have a TV in my room. So what are you gonna do? What are you gonna take away? I don't even have shit. You're gonna take away my color pencils? Go ahead.
Yeah.
You know, but now you take away their phone, boom, they're back. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm sorry. Like, all right, cool, you know? But it's just a way that however you deal with it, you know. Just like drinking, you know, I have a certain way of thinking about it, but if somebody else, they do it, that's how they choose to do it, you know.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Definitely, man, with like drinking and stuff like that, like, I'm definitely not afraid to step in and tell somebody like they're fucking up, though.
Yeah. That's
like,
good.
I feel like, you know, we always tell people like mind their business and, you know, things like that. But like in any case with like drinking or injustice or like anything, like, it is your job, like a random person, it is your job to like step in when you see some shit being fucked up. You know what I mean? Like, I used to bartend at a restaurant, you know what I mean? Like, bartending in a restaurant, bartending in the airport, like, professional, getting people drunk type shit. You know what I mean? Especially like in the airport. The more money you spend, you know, obviously the better tip we get, or the higher tip we get. But I used to tell people, man, like, when they were drinking, I used to like literally just not make a lot, but just go tap them on the shoulder and be like, all right, man, you're really fucking up right now, man. And I've told like plenty of people that, like, you're fucking up.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, and they'll straighten up. Like, some people will straighten up, like no doubt about it, but like, oh, hell, they kind of feel embarrassed, like,
Yeah.
Something like that. Some people sugar, but like you get some people are like, dude, mind your business, give me another beer. And like I've cut people off like, nah, bro, you don't get another beer, man, because you don't know how to handle your shit. Like you don't realize that you're in a public place,
Yeah.
inside of a like very private place, being inside the airport. So man, I kicked people out of bars before, man. But like I think it's a responsibility for anybody when they see something wrong, like even if it's just on the street, random shit.
Yeah.
Like step in, because like that could be like the change in somebody's life. You can change, save somebody's life. You can, make somebody realize something that they're doing something wrong.
True.
Like always like intervene. And I think we had this conversation the last time I was on a pod about like homeless people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's a line with homeless people. You know what I mean? Like some homeless people are worse, but some people are homeless who aren't trying to be homeless. But then there are homeless people who are trying to be homeless.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And you got to step in and you got to say, just talk to the homeless person, because it's hard to be homeless. You know what I mean? Like you can name, if everything went wrong right now, you can name 10 people who would have your back.
Yeah.
To get you through it. Like homeless people had to skip those 10 and they got to the homeless part. They got to the very bottom breaking point. So like talk to them, man. Like ask them how they got there. Ask them what you could do to avoid the situation. Ask them if there's anything that you can do to help them out, to maybe get the ball rolling in the right way for them. You know what I mean? Even if it's just like, if you're in a neighborhood and you pass the same homeless person every day and you notice like the streets are fucking bad or like they're dirty, just tell them like, hey man, tomorrow if this block is clean, man, I'll give you like 20 or $30, or I'll go buy you a nice dinner, or I'll wash your clothes, I'll give you some new shoes, or whatever the case may be. I'll take you to go get an interview, or whatever the case may be. Because I don't think we do, and I'm guilty of it, I don't think we do enough to help homeless people.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been like a lot of places around the world, and like the homeless people just live different around the world. You know what I mean? Like, and I hate to say this, man, but like to us, like our homeless people, but to like in other countries, those are just the mass majority living in like the slums.
Yeah.
And they deal with it and they make the best of it. You know what I mean? But they're not getting as much help as they need to. And I think we all could do a better job of just giving a helping hand for it. And like either, listening to their story and telling it and how they got there, what we can do to avoid it, what we can do to help it.
Yeah.
So I'm all for that, man.
Humanize them.
Yeah, humanize them. Just give them a chance. You know what I mean? Like I said, don't get me wrong. There's some homeless people who want to be homeless. I mean, they're not really trying.
Yeah.
But you got some people who like they just hit rock bottom. You know what I mean? Just think about a homeless person. If they don't have a home, they don't have a washer or dryer. Obviously, their clothes are gonna be old. They're gonna be dirty. How can they walk into anywhere and get a job interview? You know what I mean? If you got some old clothes, an old pair of jeans, you see somebody, you think they're going to fit, like, hey, man, you want these jeans or a nice polo? If you see them again and they look clean, like, hey, man, you trying to go get a job? You trying to help me out, do like some yard work or whatever the case may be? Just give them a chance. I think everybody deserves a chance. Like I said, forgiveness, help people out. It's our job to look next to us and say, hey, man, you need some help, because I can give it to you. Man, because at the end of the day, we all got more than we need. Regardless if you think you don't have enough, then you got enough.
Yeah.
You got a lot more than a lot of other people do.
Yeah.
Not just here in the States, but, anywhere in the world, man. We just did do a better job, man.
Where do you feel like you got this perspective from, and how long do you think you've had it, just about the way that you look at life?
Man, I just think, like, my parents, man, like, growing up, my parents didn't talk about, like, where they came from in Cambodia a lot, or like the time period of when they came, which is like during a civil war. But like you look at it and, you say they came from a village.
Mm-hmm.
I call it the village effect. When you live in a village, everybody eats together. When you have a ceremony, everybody in the village comes. You know what I mean? When you go hunt, everybody has a representative from their family to go with the village to hunt. So when they catch something, everybody in the village eats. You know what I mean? And when nobody in the village eats, nobody in the village eats. You know what I mean? So I just take that and apply it to life. You know what I mean? Like, we all got to eat. We can't, there's no point of being greedy. You know what I mean? Take what you can get. Nothing's gonna be perfect. You know what I mean? If you got a family of 4 to feed and you only get food for 3 people, shit, make the best of it. Everybody's just gonna have to take a cut back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that's where it's from, man. My grandma, she raised me and most of my cousins. You know, and her having 11 kids, I think is what it was, and bringing them all here to the States, man, it's hard work. So I think that's where I get it from, man. Honestly,
I love it, man.
You know, and that and experiences. You know what I mean? Like Boone, my cousin. If you know him, you know he's a big guy.
Yeah, shout out to Boone.
Shout out to Saint Center.
Yeah, Saint Center. CBD, baby.
CBD, if you need it, he's got it. Go holler at him. They're on all social network platforms.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, but you know, he provided me with a good like blueprint.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like growing up, I was inside his pocket all the time. I was just with him. You know what I mean? And he always let me do what I needed to do with fair warning. You know what I mean? He would say, look, you don't need to smoke weed or whatever, but if you want to, go ahead. You know, I'm not going to stop you from doing it.
Yeah.
And like that choice of letting me like experience something and then letting me decide by myself if I liked it or not, it gave me like a thinking like everybody's got a choice to do something. And, you got to give the people the opportunity to make those choices. Because if you don't give the people the opportunity, they would never know it. Like, say, going back to the spaghetti thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're giving a person spaghetti every day, he's going to think that's the best shit ever. That's all he's ever going to want. He's never going to know about, like, lasagna or pizza or sandwiches or anything like that. So give people options, give people choices. Let them get the experience, and then decide what you want. And I think for kids too, you know what I mean? Like sports or career, like always plugging in like doctor, lawyer, whatever the case may be. Just let him do what he likes, man. Like I said, my parents wanted me to be a doctor. Obviously, growing up, all Asian people want their kids to be doctors.
Yeah,
it's not something I like. You know what I mean? And I told my parents maybe about 10 years ago, I didn't want to do college anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? My parents were like, oh, we brought you over here to, do something better. And I was like, I am doing better. I'm doing a lot better than where y'all, like you said, where y'all are at my age. I'm doing a lot better. I'm doing the experiences that you guys were never able to do.
Yeah.
Travel the world. That's something you would never, ever have thought I would be doing.
Yeah.
But I'm doing it. You know what I mean? Or like living downtown in the city. You never thought I would, but I'm doing it.
Yeah.
So, everything that you thought I should be doing and couldn't do, I'm doing it to show you that we can do it. And, whatever choices people make, like, might be different, might be the wrong road, but it's an experience that you never thought that person was going to do, and they did it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and just like with you, man, I mean, you had a dream, but you were in 6th grade, 7th grade with Downstar?
Yeah, I was sophomore.
Sophomore, you know what I mean? So, I'm pretty sure people looked at you and were like, dude, you need to go to college.
Yeah.
Or, whatever the case may be. And you think like, man, college is cool, but I don't think it's necessary like for everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody's got to choose their own path. Like you can't be if you're forcing something, it's not going to work. I think doing what you feel like is right or what you want to do is, goes a lot further than being successful in a way. You know what I mean? Like I'm successful in my own little lane.
Yeah.
I went here and I did this, and it's not like as big as your lane, you know what I mean? But it's the lane I wanted to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like you said, I'm sure you're super proud of like where Downstar is. I'm sure your dad is super proud, and Ashley and Christian, they're all super proud of where it began. And dude, I do. Me and Boona talk about it all the time. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, dude, Frank's still rolling. He's still going. Boone's like, yeah, man. I call him and ask him for tips for he's got Saint Center going on, how he can approach that business mode. But it's your niche. It's what you're proud of. You know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure, maybe not all the way sure, but I'm pretty sure somebody could offer you a shitload of money, but you wouldn't.
Yeah.
Because that's your shit.
Yeah, that's me.
That's you. You know what I mean? Like whenever you think Frank, you're gonna think Downstar.
Yeah.
You don't want to sell it off to somebody who's gonna mess up your brand or turn it into something that you never thought it was gonna be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I mean, with that in life is, just make sure you're making good choices. Make sure you're a good person.
Yeah,
Think the village effect. You know what I mean? Like somebody eats in your family, everybody's got to
I
eat,
like
or
that.
your friends, or whatever the case may be. And when one person doesn't eat, the whole village doesn't eat.
Yeah.
You just look out for that village. You know what I mean? So, nah.
Chubby, I love it, bro. I love having these combos with you, on air and off air, dude. I very value them a lot, man. You have a very unique way of looking at things, and it's dope, man. I appreciate your friendship a lot, dude.
And saying likewise, man. You know what I mean? Frank, I love you, man.
Love you
You know what I
too,
mean?
brother.
We had some good times, man. We've had some very good times, man. A lot of like sessions in the garage.
Yeah.
Do a lot of like going to these shows, and I'll make this clear to everybody. I don't know shit about cars. Shit. I could change my oil, I could change my tire. That's it. I do not know shit about cars. Like what me and Frank have in common has nothing to do with he's super passionate about. He's super passionate about cars, but we share a passion outside of cars.
Yeah.
So that shows a person like who Frank is. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So,
It's rare, man. It's definitely rare, and it's crazy how things happen. Just taking that risk to try to spread the word of the brand, going to another part of the country I've never been to, meeting people I've never met, and then being vulnerable and just talking to people and building friendships, and then it blossoming 10 years later into a lifelong friendship. I feel like I could just fly to Atlanta right now and we're gonna have a great time,
dude, man, I'll hook this macaroni and cheese up for you, man.
Yeah. He has the best mac and cheese ever, bro. I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm looking forward to visiting you hopefully before the year ends, man. Hopefully before all this craziness goes down. So I head out there and, maybe just come up for a weekend, just chill out there and just enjoy the time, man. Have some good conversations.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, man. Doors always open for you, man. Couch is always on, in the living room
Hell
for you.
yeah.
Mac and cheese is on deck. The flowers on deck, man. Everybody likes hanging out with you, man. We love you here on the East Coast, man. You're always welcome here, man.
Likewise, bro. Likewise, man. So, Chubby, before we get out of here, bro, where can everybody find you at, and where can they follow along with your worldly travels?
Oh shoot, man. Let me see. I don't even remember my own shit, man. Honestly, dude, I'm Chub624 on Instagram.
Chub 624.
I'm an avid traveler, man. I try to. If you look at my page, there's a lot of nature stuff, a lot of stuff around the world, experiences, man. Just understanding culture. Culture is a big thing to me. I feel like if you don't understand culture, then your mind is. I don't want to talk bad about anybody, man, but if you don't understand culture, man, you're missing out.
Yeah, definitely.
If you're eating spaghetti every day, you're missing out.
Yeah.
If you're only watching one news outlet, you're missing out on a perspective.
Yeah.
And if if you feel like the world isn't going your way, just keep on going and change your mindset up. So I feel like a lot of people are stagnant because they won't change their groove up.
Yeah.
So change your groove up. Follow what you like. Smell the flowers when you want to, eat when you want to eat. Keep it under control. Love thy neighbor. Forgiveness.
Yeah.
And just keep on loving, man. That's it.
I love it, bro. Chubby, love you, man. Thank you for your time, bro. I appreciate
Anytime,
it.
man. It was a good time, man. I'm glad we got to kick this off, man. What time is it over there?
What is it? It's almost gonna be 8 o'clock right now.
8 o'clock, just prime time for y'all, man. It's 11 p.m. here.
Prime time, man.
time.
I'm about to go home, get some dinner, and then go chill out. Hopefully, catch some of you guys on live tonight. But Chubby, thank you, bro. I appreciate it, and I really want to have you as a regular on the show. The conversation that you and I have, it's similar to the conversations that my buddy TJ and I have, my cousin Prep and I have, and all the time, dude. And my cousin Ross, people are always asking, when are you going to bring them on? When are you going to bring them on? Because these are the real conversations that, the awesomeness comes out of it. And the ones that we do with people where we're asking them about, their history, their cars, their business, those are awesome too. But I feel like we get a little deeper on episodes like this, and I would definitely like to have you back on in the near future. Man.
For sure, man. I'm open to it, man. I like before we start, I said, man, perspective's a big thing. So I always like for people to get perspective,
Yeah.
either from a different culture or, different coast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'm up for it, man. You just let me know when and where, man, and I'll always leave a time slot open for you, man.
Thank you,
Always.
brother. All right, guys, make sure you go check out Chubby, give him some love, and also check out our sponsor, Heel Toe Automotive. They've been around since 2002, supplying you guys with all the Honda parts that you need. Mark's is a great guy. You call him up, text him, or anything like that. He'll help you guys out, whatever you need. HeelToeAuto.com on Instagram, Heel Toe Automotive. And please show Chubby some love. This is my guy right here. And thank you guys for listening, man. This is episode 179, and we're out. Peace.